Hello again, it's so nice to see you back. And today I thought we'll do a mountain scene, probably with a lot of nice playful clouds in the sky, some bushes and some very nice foothills. We're gonna use a new piece of equipment called the round brush and do foliage with it. So I have already covered the canvas with a thin even coat of liquid white and it's all ready to go. So I will start with a 2-inch brush, make sure it's dry. And we'll start with a little bit of phthalo blue. Just tap it nicely into the 2-inch brush. And I'll take just a little bit of midnight black to that. I want it a little bit darker. And let's go up here and making crisscross strokes. We'll make a happy little sky in here. And as you can see, having the liquid white on the canvas, it gets lighter and lighter down toward the horizon. A little bit more paint. And you are to decide where you want your mountain to be, your clouds to be. I just want a nice background here, a nice blue background. And I'm not using much paint. Blend this all nice and evenly to your desired softness. And you can remove the brush strokes by using long horizontal strokes. Very lightly. Just go above the sky. Now I want to have some water in this painting, so I will take the same color. I will take phthalo blue, little bit of black, little bit, and just a touch of phthalo green to this. And I will come down here and use straight strokes, starting from the bottom and working upwards. But make sure your strokes are straight, so it gives us the illusion of straight water. And as you can see, the water gets lighter and lighter as we move upwards. And we'll do the same thing here. And can you see the phthalo green into this? It just gives us the illusion of light playing through the water. And I'm leaving a sheen of light into the center. And we make the strokes as straight as possible. And very lightly we'll go across and blend it. And the sheen of light is always here for us. So today I want to do some white clouds. I want to make a mess of clouds, and I mean I want lots of playful clouds in here. So I will take a fan brush. This is a number 6 fan brush, and I will load it full of titanium white. And I will grab just a touch of bright red, but very little color, because it's very strong. And by adding the bright red, it's like adding sunshine. It's like it gives us the illusion that the sun is playing somewhere behind our clouds. So I will load the brush full of paint, and I will come up here and just make some circular patterns using my fan brush, just wherever you want them. Load the brush as necessary. And as you can see, I'm just moving the brush around on the canvas. Now I want to take a clean and dry 2-inch brush, and I want to blend this. I want to create another layer of clouds afterwards. So I'll come here and blend all this. And if you think that you're having a lot of paint, a lot of white paint on top, you can take your knife and just scrape it off, so you're not having a blob of paint on the canvas. Blend the bottom of it, I'm gonna fluff this using big circular strokes. And then lightly, very gently go across. And I'm having the first clouds in the sky. And these are just random clouds floating around and having fun. Let's have another layer. I'm gonna load the brush the same way. Titanium white, bright red, but lots of paint. And we'll come down here again and have another layer just above the others. And as you can see, it actually pushes this back and creates the illusion of depth in our sky. Just wherever you want them. It's a bit up here. And we're using the same brush to blend all these. And we're blending just the bottom, wherever you see a lot of paint and you can't decide which one is the bottom or not. You just go down here, and I'm leaving this in order to fluff it. This is probably the easiest way to make effective clouds, and when this painting is all done, you will understand that there are different layers and they are more realistic than you can see right now. Fluff it up, and you can see the difference now in the layers of clouds. Very, very lightly go across. And I think it's very good practice and it's a very nice effect. Let's make another layer. 3 layers I find. Titanium white, bright red, a little bit more for me. And I will come up here again. And these are just random patterns. You don't have to worry about making a mistake in here. Alright. This is enough for today, I think. And getting my twins brush again. Blend the bottom of these. And I'm using just the corner in here. Only the corner to soften the bottom of the clouds. Fluff it up. Very gently though. And then very, very lightly go across, and we have a fantastic sky in only a matter of minutes. So today I want to make a big mountain, and for that I will take some titanium white, a Prussian blue, midnight black, Van Dyke brown, and I will also throw in here some alizarin crimson, and you just mix it thoroughly on the palette. A little bit more black for me, a little bit more blue, and you pull the paint very, very flat, and you cut a little roll of paint on the edge of the knife. It's very important to spread the paint flat on your palette to get this roll of paint on the edge of the knife. So we have to decide where we want our mountain, and I want my mountain right here. And I'm using a lot and lots of pressure in here because I really need to push the paint into the fabric. And it's up to you to decide how many picks you want. And not much paint. We don't want much paint in here because We want this to blend, and the less paint we have, the easier the blend will be, and the easier we're gonna apply the highlights on. So I'm just scraping off all the excess paint, and we only care for a nice outside edge for our mountain. Okay, I will take the big brush again, make sure it's dry, and I want to come back here and blend all this. And the lighter the color, the furthest away your mountain will be. So I'm just having a kind of grayish lavender color because there is the crimson in here, there is the blue, and I have only got the brown in here to dull it down, to gray it down a bit. And that easily we have the illusion of a mountain. And we always want the top to be more distinct than there is in the bottom. There is a lot of mist going down here. And now for my highlights, I will take some titanium white, spread it out very firmly, and the least little touch of bright red to this, but very little red. I want this pinkish glow on my mountain, so I will go and get a little roll of paint in here, and I'm gonna start from this peak and using absolutely no pressure at all. Just making one stroke. We already have some snow breaking on the mountain. And in here, just follow the angle of the mountain, but it's very important to make the paint to break, and in order for the paint to break, you need to have the driest, firmest paint you can ever find, and use absolutely no pressure at all. Very little pressure, actually no pressure. And can you see the glow on the mountain? There is this pinkish color, and in here I want another peak. No pressure at all. And I want this to be more distinct. A little bit more color in here. Okay, now in order to make these peaks to be more distinct in the eye, I want to add some shadow, so I will take some titanium white and a little touch of phthalo blue into this, but not much blue, because I want this to be a very light color in order to push my mountain back. But if you want your mountain to be more distinct, you can always add more dark color and it will bring it closer to us. So using no pressure once again, go right behind the highlight, and as you can see, I use no pressure at all, but no pressure. This is very important. A little bit more shadow in here. And now I will go into this one. And I want to push this peak back, so I just come down with a shadow color, and that easily I have pushed back this peak. I will take the small edge of the knife to sneak back here. It comes very handy. And I want to fix this one. I will take the same highlight color, the white, the red, bright red, and add a little bit more of the snow. Fix this one a little bit. And it's always nice to go back and add another peak. I will go down here and add another peak. Always using the same paint. A little bit of shadow behind here. And that's easy, we have a nice mountain floating in the sky. Now I want to mist the bottom, and I take a clean and dry 2-inch brush and just tap a little bit, but only the bottom, and following the angle of the mountain. Very gently, very little tapping. Follow the angles and blend these. And we do the same in here. And our mountain is ready. That easy and that quickly. So let's take the 1-inch brush, but before that I want to take and make a background color for my foothills. I will take the same color, the same mountain color, and I will add just a touch of sub-green to this. A little bit more of the sub-green. And this makes us a nice color for foothills. I want some more paint, so I will take more white, not much though. A little bit of white, a little bit of Prussian blue, some midnight black, all the dark colors, and we will bring it to the tone we want. And you decide the value, the variation of the color. This one's okay for me. And I will take the 1-inch brush. And today I want to make a different kind of foothill. I'm gonna use the corner of the 1-inch brush. Load the brush full of paint. And let's decide where we want our foothill to be. So I will come from this side, and using only the corner, I'm gonna make lots and lots of nice foothills. And I just tap downwards. A little bit more paint. And as you can see, this pushes our mountain back. It's very, very important to have depth in the painting. Using only the corner. And I'm using both the edges of the brush. I don't want to run out of paint. Try to vary the lay of the land and the height of these. And make your strokes as straight as possible. This will give you good practice. Fill this in nicely. And I have saved some of the mist in here in order to separate these. Okay, a little bit more paint in here. Now I want to mist all this, so I will take the 2-inch brush. I will just blend the bottom of it. Tap firmly, and by the time we have the liquid white, we're gonna make lots of mist. If we didn't have the liquid white, it wouldn't work. And we're using lots and lots of pressure in order to make this misty effect. But on the bottom, you can see the separation between the mist and these faraway trees on the foothill. Lift upwards, and we're blending all these, and we're ready to go. Very gently. And it's always nice to step back and see what's going on in your painting. So you can see the different layers, you can see the clouds playing around. So we're going okay. Now then, I'm gonna take a round brush, and for that I'm gonna use some dark colors. Let me clean this pot. Let's take some dark sienna, and I actually tap only the top of my brush. This will go down. I'm taking some Van Dyke brown too, and we have darkened the color because we're coming forward. And just by tapping, we have loaded lots and lots of paint. Can you see? I only loaded the top of the brush, and I want some bushes and trees in here, so let's decide where we want our trees to be. And I will come in here and throw in some basic tree shapes. Only using the top of the brush. And it's up to you to vary the color. And in here I want some reflections, so I will just bring it even further down. Another nice tree in here. Some dark sienna, some Van Dyke brown. It's always up to you to decide the colors. Another nice tree in here. And I don't want much detail, because these are still far away from us. Maybe there's a big tree coming in here. And a bigger one in here. It's very easy to make these trees. This is a fantastic brush, I highly recommend it. It makes some of the most fantastic foliage. Okay. Now I'm gonna take the orange brush and let's make a reflection. Decide where you want your reflection to be. I think this is kind of a roundish piece of land, and I will come down here and pull straight downward. Make sure you pull straight down. And now very lightly go across and make it look like water. It's very important to use very little pressure when you do this. So I'm gonna take, I have another one here, I have another round brush, and I will go into some cadmium yellow. I'm not using lots of paint right now, I'm using yellow ochre, a bit of sub-green to this, not much paint. And let's go up here and just add a couple of leaves to these faraway trees, but not much detail, as I said, because this is far away. Always start from the bottom, from the top, I'm sorry, and work upwards. I mean, we start from the highest spot and we're moving downward then, sorry about that. And we can have some reflections, always using the same color. I'm using just the yellows, a little bit of sub-green here and there. And I'm only using the top corner of the brush. It's very easy, it's very effective. And this is something that everybody can do. It doesn't take years and years to learn to paint. I'm painting for less than 2 years. So it actually needs the right equipment, a bit of practice, and everything becomes easier as you practice and you search things, you get to learn. And you are free to send me messages on my Facebook page, and I'm really looking forward to answering all of your questions. Now in here I vary the color, I can add some bright red into this. And as I told you, not much paint, not lots of detail. Reflect that. Okay, I will take the same brush, make sure it's dry, and I'm gonna reflect this very, very gently. Pull downwards, straight downwards, with very, very little pressure. And blend this. And we have some nice background to play with. Now I want to take some liquid weight on my palette. Not much though, I take just a little bit and spread it nicely on my palette. I'm gonna add the least little touch of dark sienna to this. Pull up very flat and we cut across. We have a nice roll of paint on the edge of the knife and we're gonna make some water lines. And we need to make these lines as straight as possible. And I only put the sienna into this to make it a little bit dirty. Adds a little bit of interest. A little bit on this side too. And we really don't need much liquid white, just a touch. And we have our nice riverbank in here, a couple of ripples here and there. Okay. Now I want to move forward and I want to have some nice foliage in there, probably some trees. But I think it will also be nice if we had another layer of land in here. So I'm gonna darken the color a little bit. I will take my palette knife. And I'm gonna take some dark sienna and some Van Dyke brown. I'm gonna add the least little touch of Prussian blue to this, a little bit of alizarin crimson, but as you can see, not much paint. Blend this thoroughly. And we'll take the round brush with a dark color on, just tap it firmly. Only the top, we only want the top of the brush loaded. And I will come in here and I will just smash in a little bit of paint. Some nice bushes and some nice trees. And you know, it's very nice to have a big tree in here. So I will start from the bottom and work upwards. Load the brush as necessary. And this will be a nice leafy tree for us to play with. And it goes higher and higher, wherever you want it. A little bit more darker color. I'm gonna give it some arms. And you want this to be roundish on top. And in here I have reflected some of the dark paint. And as you can see, I have saved some of these ripples back in here because it actually pushes it even further back. Okay. So I'm gonna take my pinch brush, reflect those, and very gently go across. Now I'm gonna take my liner brush and I will take some paint thinner and I will go into some Van Dyke brown. And it really takes a lot of thinner to thin this thick paint down. And as I load this brush, I want to bring it to a sharp point. And as you can see, I have lots of paint and a sharp point, so I will come in here and give this tree a tree trunk. And if your paint won't stick, you need more paint thinner. I start from the bottom and walk upwards. You load the brush as necessary. Give it some arms. And it's okay if it is not too distinct, because it's still far away from us. But it's a big tree. Give it a couple of limbs. And I'm gonna take the round brush with a light color on. I'm gonna take some cadmium yellow this time. I'll be using more paint. A little bit of soft green. And we play through the yellows, the yellow ochre, the Indian yellow. And load the brush full of paint. And I'm gonna start from here. If the paint won't stick, I'll add the least little touch of paint thinner into my brush. And I'm working from the top and going downwards. Always remember to leave some spots open, some dark spots, in order to give depth to our tree. A little bit more foliage. And this is darker in here because the mountain says that the light is coming from the right, so I don't want much paint in here. I'll go to some yellow ochre, Indian yellow, bright red, and I will come down here and make a happy little bush. And I'm not using much pressure. And only the top. It's very, very important to use only the top of the brush. And try to vary the color on the brush. I want to reflect this one, so I will go in here, and as you can see, I've made a reflection very easily. Another one lives in here. Give it its private reflection. Okay, so that easily we have another layer in our painting. And I'm gonna reflect this with the same 2-inch brush, very little pressure. We go straight above this. Now that I'm closer, I need some land, so I'm gonna take some dark sienna, a little bit of Van Dyke brown, pull out very flat, cut across a little roll of paint, and I'm gonna make some soil. We need something to hold these bushes together. And we always follow the lay of the land. We made the reflection this way, so it is a bit of roundish. So we put the bank in the same way. You can always scratch some sticks and twigs with a clean knife. You can see some indications of tree trunks. Now I'm gonna take some white, not much though, just a bit of white, a little bit of brown. I'm gonna leave it marbly like this, not overmix, go across, get a little roll of paint, and it has lots of variation of paint on the inside. And now the same way we did with the mountain, we're using no pressure at all, and we highlight this, just barely grazing the canvas. Take the same color we had to make the water lines. Add the water line in here. Always trying to make it straight. And we load the brush the palette knife as necessary. It's always up to you how much paint you're gonna need, what kind of color. Okay. Now I want to come in here and I'm gonna darken the paint even more because I want to push this back. So I'm gonna take a big brush this time, but before that I have to mix a big bunch of paint. I'm gonna take some black, some Prussian blue, a little bit more black I think, some Van Dyke brown, some alizarin crimson, and some sap green. And we have all the dark colors. And let's come over here, and I'm gonna take the big brush and load it full of paint just by pulling down. And we want to make a rounded corner. It's very easy to load. You just need a lot of paint. And I only use this brush because it is faster, and I will come in here and throw in some shadow color. It is okay to come with this brush and make another brush for highlight. So it's very nice to layer the paint, add a little bit of interest. Okay, I just fold this nicely. And now I want to have a couple of evergreen trees. A bit more color in here. I'm gonna make the evergreens using the number 3 fan brush, but I think I need a little bit more color for this. I'm gonna use the same colors, dark colors. And you can use whatever brush you want for your evergreens, but I think for me number 3 fan brush works just nicely. And I'm gonna take and decide where you want your evergreens to be. I'm gonna load the brush full of paint, lots of dark paint. And as you can see, the brush is fully loaded, both sides. And let's come in here and just make a center line, reload as necessary. And we're just using the corner of the brush and make an evergreen tree. And I'm using more and more of the brush as I'm working downwards. A little bit more paint. And this will give you good practice. And I want another one in here, just a little bit taller. Only using the corner and more pressure as we're going downward. And these two are very close, but we're gonna separate them with highlights. And maybe we want another tree. We're gonna take and make a little tree in here. Probably it's their baby, you know. Use just the corner. And it's very, very important to use a lot of paint for this, otherwise it won't work. Okay. I'm gonna make some tree trunks. I'm gonna use the same color as I did with a highlight on the riverbank. Highlight very flat, cut across the least little amount of paint, and I will come up here. And as you can see, the tree trunk is more distinct because we're quite close to these trees now. And I sort of pull towards me, you know. It gives us the illusion that the tree trunk is round, so it's very important to use these tricks to make your effects more realistic. I'm gonna take the same brush I used to make the evergreens, and I'll take some paint thinner and I'll go through some cadmium yellow, and I have a nice dirty green color. I'll take some paint thinner, a little bit of sub green to this, just a touch of sub green, a little bit more of the dark color. And I've only thinned the paint down to stick better. As you can see, there is a lot of paint in here. And let's come up here, start from this tree, and start putting the highlights on the same way, just by tapping. Reload the brush, and don't let your brush to slide. It's very, very important. Just tap. Thousands and thousands of leaves, literally. And as you notice, it gets darker and darker and down towards the base, because we also run out of color, but we also pick up some of the dark paint that is underneath, and we let the brush and the paints work for it, and that easily we have some nice evergreen trees. Let's take the round brush, as this is the one we're making foliage with today. Take your highlight colors, the greens and the yellows, and let's come up here and just decide what kind of bushes we want. And as you can see, the round brush is making fantastic foliage. And once this dry, you can actually feel the leaves on the tip of your fingers. And it is okay that we used the big brush earlier to fill this in. A nice green bush in here. He's got a friend. And we always layer, always vary the color. Nice green bushes. I'm gonna take some bright red into this one. This one's bigger. Gonna take some yellow ochre in here. And you can see the variety of colors I have in all my bushes. I always go through different colors. It's so easy and so nice to paint in this way. There's a big bush in here that comes in foreground. And you know, it's very interesting at some points to add a little path. If you are not committed yet, you can add something like a path in here. So I will take a fan brush. Let me find a fan brush. I will take some straight Van Dyke brown, and maybe there is a path in here. So So you just have to decide where your path is and making little strokes in here and widen them the closer you get. A little bit more paint for me. And this comes from nowhere and we don't know where this goes. Just a small path, and you can see that it actually pushes behind those bushes we have made. And you can always come back with lighter color, and I want to highlight this one first. I'm going to take some highlight color using the fan brush again, a little bit more white, a little bit more of the dark sienna, and it's just a fan brush, and that easily we have highlighted the path in here. That easy. Take the round brush and we're gonna push this back that easily. And we come in here and paint some bushes over the path without taking advantage of it. That easily. A little bit here and there. And I also want to bring this together, add some thin paint. We need lots of paint to stick above this paint. We're gonna take some paint thinner, lots of paint, and bring this together. And I'm not using lots of pressure because I'm gonna mix mud. And if you're not satisfied with this, you can come back with just some Van Dyke brown and work it once again. As you can see, we do not make mistakes. We're just having happy accidents. So I have actually brought the land a little bit closer to me. I'm taking the same highlight color, barely grading the water line, and it's all fixed that easily. You can really mend anything, literally anything. No need to panic, no need to swear. So I think we're finished. We have created lots of nice effects today, some different things using the round brush. We have practiced the mountains, we have practiced the evergreens, the reflections, and I will call this finished for today. I was very happy to be with you. I really hope you liked it. So until next time, happy painting and take care of yourselves. Bye.